The snowstorm couldn't stop us, but hey, we back. And welcome to the Hilkiah Show, where everyone deserves to be seen, loved, and heard. Listen, today's conversation is going to be a little touching because today I have two young black men, not only educated, articulated, inspiration, and how can I forget, they handsome. Come on now. But listen, more of the story, they speak the truth about everything that's going on with the experience of them being young black males. I feel like I'm going to learn a lot, and I know that this interview is going to be one to remember forever. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Kaidyn and Miguel. How y'all doing, my brothers? Beautiful. Beautiful. Good. Man, where do we even start? How we feeling? We're going to start there, man. y'all didn't know. I've been trying to get these words for a minute. We even talk. How we feeling, man?
You know?
Yeah.
My mom was doing one of two things when you asked that. I can either throw you labels. I can say that I'm feeling good. I can say that I can give you the conventional answer and say that I'm feeling good. Or I can give you the truthful answer, which is life as always is very challenging and difficult.
Yeah.
But I think throughout it all, perseverance is the goal. So it's a steady storm.
It's a steady storm?
Steady storm.
My man Miguel, what's up? How we living?
Man, I'm feeling great.
Man.
Grateful.
Yeah.
For this opportunity.
Yeah.
God just aligning this. Feeling grateful. Loving.
Yeah.
We gotta wake up every day, loving. And peaceful. Like, this is just something that brings so much peace and excitement.
Man, that's what I'm saying. And on me, on the other hand, God, I'm doing great. Come on now. Self-explanatory.
You know, I just
But listen, man, we already know what we gotta talk about, man. It's no questions asked. So y'all gonna bring it to me today or what? Because you know we got the hot seat later on. The Hilkiah hot seat, 10 true or false statements. And I'm looking at it while. So y'all gonna set the tempo for me?
Hey,
what we feeling?
Hey, let me know more about the information. What's that Hilkiah information?
The Hilkiah hot seat. Oh yeah, it's coming. So make sure y'all got y'all thinking caps on when we talk about it. Because I need y'all to be
So I'm in for a surprise.
Oh yes. Oh yes. but listen, man, as a young black male, we choose to ask ourselves, is we seen, is we love, or even heard? So my thing is seen. We all go through a seen phase or an unseen phase. And my thing is, as young black men, do you feel like society truly sees you for who you are or only for what it assumes you are?
I believe society in general are not going to see you for who you are until you're useful to them. I think us as humans, we are very self-interested.
Yeah.
Which means if you provide benefit to me, then that's the only thing I really care about.
Yeah.
The poor man down the street isn't seen, and the reason why he isn't seen is I believe that he isn't conducive or useful to the society, as wrong as that is to say, and as wrong as it is to be him.
Yeah.
But I think to be seen is to be valued. And I think value comes from being able to deal with the difficulty and being able to become the best version of yourself that you possibly can. And that is a hard thing to do. But I don't think in generality we are seen. No, I don't think so. I think we're only seen based upon how others view us and how useful we are to others.
And you feel like that could be a motivation thing?
Depends upon the person. I think it can be twofold. I think in general, if people feel seen and people feel heard, then that is a motivating factor within itself. But if you are not, then I believe that can make you feel lonely, that can make you feel depressed, that can get you inside of an emotional spiral, a negative one that is. And I think that itself is not motivating. No, I think that within itself can demotivate a person enough to not want to become useful to society.
How we living, Miguel?
Man, feeling seen by society.
Yeah.
I want to start off by saying that's just a wild trap to be in.
Yeah.
Want to be feeling seen is looking for validation outside yourself. You have to feel seen by you.
Yeah.
But of course, you grow up and you want your loved ones to make you feel seen.
Yeah.
But everybody growing up in life, everybody go through their own situation, circumstances, and they just distract them. But as kids growing up, do we feel seen? No, we don't.
Speak on that.
Black men feel seen? No, because I feel like our parents, it's environment based, so I'm speaking from experience.
Okay.
Our parents could maybe they might look at what they want to see in us, but they don't see what we want to value in us.
Ooh, okay.
So, for example, we might look good on the outside. Our parents might love our physical looks.
Yeah.
But on the inside, we want to be validated. We want to know how much we're loved, how much we are cared for, how much we just affectionate.
Yeah.
And we just never felt that, in a sense. You never felt that.
You know, I want to throw the question on to you. Do you feel seen?
No.
What?
Because I don't feel like that's my job to be seen. I feel like I was put down here to make others feel seen. Maybe in a personal matter, yeah, I could be seen, but in the public, no. I feel like I have to fight myself in the world to be able to be seen. Why? Because I choose to put myself in that position.
Do you feel like that's a guy, just for all of us, okay? Do you feel like that just God pushing us to have a bigger impact on people, to where we're not meant to stay in the environment of everybody if we're meant to be greater. So we're greater than how we must go through difficult times, more harder times, let's say that, because our purpose is higher. That it's not from us, it's God given. So that ego, put that to the side. But if the purpose is higher, you go through more, it takes longer. You have to learn more.
And it's crazy that you speak on the physical part of our loved ones seeing us. Do you feel like we stereotype? Did y'all ever feel stereotyped, or do y'all feel like black men are stereotyped?
I feel like stereotypical was placed upon us as a trauma, as of us just growing up, it just came into us. Because inner, I feel like race, gender, religion, all that thing came apart for control. The black man and white man, we all so if you detach from this physical reality, we all want to be seen. We all want to be looked. We all have inner souls.
Facts.
So that's why I feel like everybody's empathetic. No matter how hard you might see, deep down when he go to sleep at night, that's hurting his soul.
And it's crazy that you said, because do you feel like people are born evil? Because I hear that a lot.
Raised, program, environment. So your family, what you see in your family could play a part. Because what you might see as evil, they see it as normal. It's perspective based. So that's why I say a lot of life, you have to change perspective around it. Evil, goodness and evilness is only perspective based. They're the same thing on two sides. They're two sides of the same coin. Now your perspective is what give it definition.
Think about that.
I first want to go back to your second question, which is, do I think we're stereotyped? In the world that we live in, of course, I think that we're stereotyped, but then this is where it gets very critical for me. I must then ask myself, why are we stereotyped? If I look at the average black person, or perhaps if I look at the average white person, how they view the black person, we're viewed as ignorant, we're viewed as violent, we're viewed as self-degrading. If I have to ask myself, well, why generally do the white people think that? I'm going to ask you a question.
Listen.
If you're 3 years old and you have no concept of the world, and the only thing that you've ever seen, you grew up on a farm, and the only thing you've ever seen was 3 purple cows. The 4th cow that you see, what color do you believe it's going to be? Purple. That's going to be pattern recognition. That's practically called pattern recognition. I'm going to view my base point of the world based on the commonalities that I see. So if I commonly see X, then I'm going to expect Y. The black people that I see, generally, I want to ask questions. The common black person that you run across. I love black people. I am black myself. I have a black mother. But the black person that you come across, is he perceived in a way that aids that stereotype, or is he doing things that negate negate that stereotype. Meaning, if people view us as self-degrading, are we self-degrading ourselves?
Yeah.
In what way do you think so?
I feel like self-degrading. Hey, repeat that last question. It's not true.
In what way do you think we are self-degrading ourselves?
How about self-sabotaging a lot in this world? We project when things don't go our way. We ask ourselves if it's meant for us and more, etc.
I have a question. Do you feel like that's a mindset thing? Do you feel like moving from a low level mindset? Because our environment, everybody, we're in a scarcity mindset, lack mindset.
Yeah.
What can get me to the next day? Versus that abundant mindset. So do you feel as if that just you're operating out of lack? And if so, you can do inner work to pull your mindset towards abundance.
Yeah.
So for example, if you do view money as a scarcity thing, you gotta hold on to this thing.
Yeah.
It will never be greater than it. It can never be greater because you're attaching yourself too much to it that you're not giving God, number one, enough room to multiply it, because money is just like water. Money is a tool.
Yeah.
Money is not an identity. That's the number one thing they sold poor people. Not stereotype.
Yeah.
Poorness is a mindset. Rich is a mindset. Now, your environment don't dictate if you're rich or poor.
Yeah.
You got to know that within. What is rich to you? Having love more than your life, having a community. Some people don't see money as rich.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like you have to know yourself more importantly in this life more than anything.
But that's where it gets difficult, because to know yourself also means to be aware of your own capabilities, aware of your own emotions and feelings. And I think today in the world, we view ourselves, our worth, based on how other people view us. John down the street or Becky, the coworker, how they feel about us is interpretizing in the way that we will only look at ourselves in ways that other people see us. And so you want to talk about abundance, and it's a mindset, which it truly is. But truly and literally, I think many people aren't worried about abundance anymore, because many people are just trying to survive. And so when people have to worry about paying their bills, when people are worried about having $860 in their bank account at the end of the month because their bills cost $855, they're not worried about how to survive or how to become rich, or perhaps how to have this mindset to where I need to do better in life. They are trying to survive, perhaps not grow. And the things that you're talking about is for the growing people who want to grow, people who want to see the world in a different way, in a different light. But it's hard, it's excruciatingly hard to tell someone who is surviving how to thrive and how to become better than the versions that they are right now.
That goes into where I said you can't force people to upgrade. You can plant seeds. You can show people the way. You can't force them to take that path. That's why I say me showing up authentically is giving people the confidence. It's giving them the relatability. He ain't perfect, but they see success. They see their definition of success in me. And I'm not perfect, so they don't have to be perfect to get that amount of success. Cause that's where a lot of people get messed up in their mind, that they have to be perfect. You have to be perfect just to be loved by God. You have to just be perfect. No. Love, number one, true love is unconditional. Unconditional no matter what.
So my thing is, do y'all feel like y'all have to prove yourselves to be perfect to this world as a black man? Let me speak first.
No. Number one, that's self-truth. Knowing your true worth versus what the world view you as is completely different. Because the world can view you as bad. As long as you speak life into you, as long as you keep a positive mindset, you don't let them circumstances, them words dictate your mindset, your emotions.
Do you think your self-worth is based upon what other people say about you?
Yes. Why? Because growing up, I always thought that I was supposed to live up to everybody's expectations they had in their head about me. Sometimes I did it. And sometimes I tell myself, I ain't gotta live up to their expectations. That ain't my job. But I would always get a guilty feeling about it, and I never knew why. Yeah.
And I know it's that empathy, like you said. It's like you're pulled more to one side than the other.
Yeah.
So you're either you notice you don't have to do this. I don't have to do what I'm about to do.
Yeah.
So you do it just you do it authenticity. You do it just because. There's no reason behind it. You just doing it. No matter if the guilt is there. If you say when you say no to somebody, the guilt there.
Yeah.
It's always there. You got to learn how to live with it. You got to know how to. So you have to.
So my thing is, how do you know how to live with it? What's the steps and phases that you took to deal with guilt?
You don't need nobody's permission but yourself. If somebody say no to you, you tried.
Yeah.
You did everything you had to do, and no is not a shortcoming. That's a label.
My thing is, do you feel like it tamper with your confidence a little bit? It tamper with your image a little bit when you tell a loved one no about something?
Of course, because loved ones, that's one thing about loved ones.
Yeah.
They keep you comfortable because they have this certain image in their head, and if it's not by that, it's wrong.
How do you break it?
Just be yourself. Authentically, you can't care for what they think. You got to be willing to be yourself no matter who. When I say that, no matter who.
Yeah.
It could be your mother, your dad, you got to be you. You got to put yourself first because you know the more you be yourself, the more you're going to show up for them better. You showing up by being the way that they want you to be is killing you because it's draining your energy, but it's messing with the potential because you know you can give more to them. So you have to set that aside, set that people pleasing aside, and do it for betterment.
So listen, when you said people pleasing aside, sometimes people find their image in people pleasing, and they don't know themselves out of it. And I'm a victim of it. I'm not gonna lie to you. And it took me 11 months.
What happened if I take that? What happened when I take that away from you? When your identity around something outside of yourself, what happened when God take that away? You isolate, and what happened? You get depressed. You can't deal with yourself because you've been seeking outside of yourself. So when you seek that within, when you do go seek for it, it's authenticity. Like you doing it the best way versus seeking it for hunger. Oh, I just want to meet new people. I just want to do this. It's your desire. It's your desire, and God want to give it to you. You can't rush it, and you can't become, because when you rush it, you become no.
As people, we rush. As people, we are impatient. We came on this earth as impatient. We came on
you gotta learn patience.
Yes, we gotta learn patience. My thing is, I'm gonna start with you, Kaidyn. When patience became a thing of virtue for you, who taught you patience? Better yet, who taught you patience? Life. Listen, hey, hold on, before you get your point, y'all, when Miguel taught, y'all got love it. Let me hear some Kaidyn.
I think life within itself will teach you patience. But before I get into that, why are we impatient as human beings? And I think that's because we're used to having everything quick. If we are hungry, we can grab food in the fridge that's 5 steps away from us and fulfill our desires. If we can't do that, then we can call Uber Eats and food will be within 15 minutes of reach. If we cannot do that, well, we can just crank up the car and go down.
Why do you think we do that? As people, why do you think we will DoorDash a 15-minute food deal instead of just going in the kitchen and just making somebody kitchen? Why do we do that as people? This not no race thing. It's not a race thing. This is an everyday thing. Because why do you feel like we do that?
Program.
Why do you feel like we program?
Because it's the way everything, your subconscious, everything. Pay attention to the way you was raised. So
you want to get some traditional?
Tradition is what you're seeing, how you was raised. Like
I think there's a bigger picture here. So, for example, you say why it is that we will do a 15-minute meal DoorDash. It's the simple fact that why won't we go out and walk for 30 minutes in the summer heat? Because it's uncomfortable. Because it's hard. if you had the easiest choice to do 10 minutes of your favorite TV show on a comfortable couch or 30 minutes in hell going down the street and walking in hot summer heat, you would rather choose the comfortable couch because it's most comfortable, because it's easy. So we can get into that simple factor, we can get into the psychological element that the mind sways away from anything that is hard. Anything that is hard, the mind avoids. We are pleasure-seeking creatures because we hate pain. When the last time that you have self-inflicted pain? I'm truly asking you. When is the last time you self-inflicted pain upon yourself? Pain can simply mean going to the gym and your body aching. Pain can simply mean doing something mentally taxing that you haven't done before.
Working out.
When was the last time you did it?
Last night. Usually I do a 5x20 push-up set, but push myself past. I said, here, let's take it up another. Let's do 10 by 20. Went through it. I can say that fourth set, that 19-1, chest started caving in. I'm like, hold on, man. Because I ain't never get to finish the jump. Because I got to do 3,000 jumps in 30 minutes. Kill me. I was like, hold on now.
Now my question to you is, my question to you is, how many people in this world right here, right now, do you think could do that or will do that? Many people give up when things are hard. When things are hard, when things are even a slither of hard, people give up. And so this is what I mean, why we've become so impatient. And life taught me patience because it understood that there is no shortcut to life. There is no shortcut to growth. There is no shortcut to getting a better health. If you wanted to finish the push-ups, you have to do the push-ups. You can't call your brother in to finish it for you. You have to do it yourself. There is no shortcuts in life. And so I believe life itself will teach you patience, because once you take a shortcut, life itself will punish you. And life itself will be brutal on you and hard on you to teach you a lesson.
And that's a great valid point. You was in a Southern Grace.
How when you push past it, when your mind helped you, how did that make you feel when you got done doing that workout? It was tiring, but how did you feel after?
I was exhausted, but I was like, you know, when you get that,
that's why I say the road to heaven feel like hell, but the road to hell feel like heaven. Why? Comfort zone is the road to heaven. That's why I say it's hell, because comfort zone, it looks good, but it's really not. It's a distraction. That's why when you push past it, you felt good, because even though it was hard, it felt so good at the end, versus if you would have told yourself no and you have to live with that guilt of like,
that's regret. That's regret. If I would never finish that workout last night, I would have probably took a shower and said, hey, forget about it. With my mind, why you ain't finished it? Got out the shower, probably called somebody to get my mind off of it. It sway away. But then again, the next day come, a couple of hours come, next thing you know, we back in it. Why we ain't finished that last night? Knowing you gotta get up today and do that all over and push yourself again.
I love how you're
why do y'all think I feel that way about that for it?
You're accountable. You're very accountable. So,
but listen, I have a conversation with my homegirl every day, and she tells me like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, you don't know how to take accountability. How that? This is my thing. When
accountability is hard to take, and this is why accountability is hard to take. If you don't get down to do those 100 push-ups, whose fault is that?
Mine.
But what does that say about you? What does it say about you, the fact that you could not complete 100 push-ups? How did you feel about yourself then?
I'm gonna feel weak-minded. Like I'm gonna feel.
Do you want to feel that?
No.
That's why we sway away from accountability, because it's hard, and we don't want to feel those negative emotions or feelings about ourselves.
But then again, my thing is, Kaidyn, if we back to the workout and analogy, if I did not finish that workout, right, and I was supposed to push myself, but I did the regular sets that I usually do, how is it that I'm in the wrong?
You're in the wrong because here's how I think about it. If you set your mind to something, if you say that you're going to do something, there's two paths. You can either do it or not do it. Doing it, although it's hard at the moment, as he said, and although you mentally feel good afterwards, as you said, you've done it. If you do not do it, then guess what? You have this voice in the back of your head and say, you know what? I did not do what I said that I was going to do. So let's extrapolate this out to bigger moments.
Okay.
Whenever you are in life and you have to do something that you do not want to do, you're going to remember that time and recall all the times in which you did not do what you were supposed to do. You're going to recall the times when you were down on the floor and you were supposed to do 100 push-ups, but you did 50.
Yeah.
And so what is that evidence? That is proof of your incapability to do what you said that you were going to do.
I say it depends on the circumstance, because you have to give yourself grace. If if you go to the gym after your most tiring day, you're giving your 100% at all. That's it. As long as you give your 100% at all, it might be 20.
Yeah.
So you feel like, okay, you normally do 100, but today you only do 20. Do that 20. You gotta give yourself grace, because you're gonna come up short in life, and you don't beat yourself.
Okay, so when you give yourself grace, and I saw that you were finna touch on a good topic, I'm gonna let you get on that. When did you know you had to develop grace as a human being?
Man, life will beat you up.
But then again, if life beat you up, what's the point of it giving you grace if it beat you up?
Because
why don't you go with
you're gonna lose in a present moment. You going through hardship in the long run is helping you. But in this present moment, going through hardship, it can get you depressed.
Yeah.
It can keep you in this level of mind. So grace, it helps you with present enjoyment. Like so much people is trapped in the future that they miss the present moment. They don't enjoy the present moment. Grace gives you that. Okay.
So my thing is, have you ever looked past the present moment for the future moment?
Every day you have to. I work.
But then again, you said as people we shouldn't do that.
It's a balance. It's a balance.
How is it a balance though?
Because you have to know how to balance your present moment. Enjoy life right now by also working towards what you're working towards.
But why can't we just let the future come just like the present moment?
Because comfortability. If it come like that, if you just wait for it to come to you, you can. Right. I mean, you can, but it's gonna be less exciting. What's the thrill of waiting for something? The process, the hardship is the excitement.
Okay.
The end result is not. Everybody thinks the end result is
the excitement. It's not.
No, it's the process, because you have to go through the process to get to the end. So that's the only way you can truly rush something, by going through the process now versus later. So you only going to do it now, or it's going to show up again later, and you're just going to regret not doing it now.
Man,
that's why I gotta take steps. You gotta enjoy life.
I'm gonna let you get your point. I'm listening. Your point.
No, go ahead.
One question. Your point. Go ahead. So, it's crazy that you mentioned steps. Why do, as people, especially men, young men, going into a man, why do you feel like we overlook baby steps to get to the huge step first? Because I could be walking, right, and I see 4 stairs, and you know my mind.
I got the answer.
And you know, in my mind, I would have jumped past the 4 stairs, so I don't get to that where I'm trying to get. Why do you think I don't have the patience to be able to walk up them stairs one by one and take my time to do it? Why, as people, because we battle there a lot. Why do you feel like we don't do that?
Of course, the same reason we order DoorDash and don't cook. Dopamine. I mean, can't nobody just. And that's the thing of giving a abundant mindset. Yeah, you get better long term. You can see goals long term versus for tomorrow.
Yeah,
that's what that comes from.
I also think whenever we go on social media, let's not kid like social media doesn't have a huge part to play on this. Whenever we go on social media, depending on your feed or depending upon the things that you watch, I know personally, I'm gonna speak for myself. I scroll and I see a person with a mansion. I scroll and then I see the person with this Lamborghini with this hot chick in the passenger seat. I scroll and I see this millionaire saying about how it's easy to make money nowadays. I look at the world around me and I see that I have 0 of that. So I think, okay, well, if this person who is driving this Lamborghini with this female by his side, I know for a fact that he didn't take a small step to get there. He took big steps. He took big leaps. That's what we think. So we internalize in our head that if we're seeing this millionaire upon this phone, and the only way that we can get there is through taking huge, gigantic leaps. We think that taking small steps are too embarrassing. We think going to the gym and doing 10 push-ups at the gym is embarrassing. But once we compound those 10 push-ups day by day by day, consistently, then we will have a different physique. And we have a different body.
And it's crazy that you said that. Why do you feel like we feel embarrassed though? When we do, if you go to Planet Fitness right now, us three go to get Planet Fitness right now, and I go up in there and I say, Kaidyn, hey Miguel, I'm gonna let y'all know right now, I'm gonna do 10 push-ups and that's it. Why?
Because there's always somebody who will do 100. And when there's somebody, we as humans compare. We as humans compare, and we cannot also kid ourselves and say that we don't compare. I'm going to go outside right now and I'm going to compare the vehicles that I see versus the vehicle that I drive, and I'm going to ask myself, why do I not drive that vehicle? It's inherent within us. I can tell you why. From the dawn of human time, we've always decided our value based upon external things. If you are, let's go back to the caveman days, I suppose.
Yeah, that's what I said too.
I suppose.
That's what I said.
Let's go back to the caveman days where you kill animals. Well, guess what? If you killed an animal, you had your fur to show. So you can kill the animal, you can get the fur of the animal, you can get necklaces, you can get all these type of things. And guess what?
Do you feel like that's a mentality though? A mindset thing? Wearing the fur of an animal that you killed.
But I also think that's like a peacock. You're showing your feathers. You're showing all your accomplishments and things that you can do. And guess who that attracts? Women.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I think genuinely and truly men do everything for love. Yeah. Everything a man does is for love. The reason why we are working today is because we want the love of someone else in some form, shape, or way, or fashion.
And then I said this on my story the other day, if y'all heard it not. I said the biggest drug in America that people really don't talk about that is addictive to black men is pussy. That's the biggest drug. That is the biggest drug. That is the biggest drug. I kid you not. As people, as men, we tolerate a lot of things just because we don't want to do no drugs. Black men do not want to do no drugs. They do not want to smoke. They don't want to do crack cocaine. They don't want to have no kids. But what they doing all this stuff for? Come on now.
I disagree. Well, it is the big. I'm talking about the last part. Okay. What we're doing it for, that's more internal. Okay. But as pussy being most used drug, that's more of that's a self-improvement thing. Cause that's dealing with your lust. That's a personal thing.
Yeah. I have a question for you. If there were no females in this earth right now, would you still have the pursuits of wanting to become the best version of you, knowing that there's just a world full of men?
Yes. No. I don't do it based off females. I'm community. I don't live in my purpose for a female. I do it for myself.
So my thing is, do you live in the purpose of a female? Because that's really hard when you think about it, because it's like we young black male, and I can say that's a part of why I do certain things is because not for female validation, but because I want to secure a wife and kids and things of that nature.
But also female love is very healing. So for example, whenever you're sick and you're down on your deathbed, or you're just sick with a cold, who do you want to call? Do you want to call your boys, or do you want to call a female? Because females are in their nature are healing. They're healing people. Yeah. And so I think it has
a healed female, not a toxic female. It's different. A healed female is in her true feminine ways. Toxic female is more masculine. They look for the next argument. Yeah. They're not trying to solve a problem. They're trying to see what they trying to get for them. They don't want to help you. They're more self-regulated. Yeah. That's why I say it only depends on the female.
I think, so to go back to your question, no, actually I want to ask you a question. I'm listening. So you say, yes or no, you do things perhaps for the female love.
Yeah.
Why?
Because being raised by a single mother, that play a major role. When you see your mom without a man, it asks yourself, who can step in this position to make sure my mom's straight? And there ain't gonna be no man, because I'm already knowing there are tendencies, you know? It gives me the lane to be emotional supportive, because you gotta understand your mom is emotional supportive for you, and then linger on to you to return that connection back.
I can give you a testimony, my testimony.
I'm listening.
I was once like that. But getting your heart broke, number one, could change your mindset of a female. But I didn't beat myself up about that because I was only being myself. So me not beating myself up about that, it's improving me because I'm giving myself grace. I know there's a female out there for me. That female just went for me because of whatever circumstance, her mindset, when she thought she wanted, she didn't want. Let's just say that. Okay. And for me, what I wanted, I was giving what I was wanting. I was giving my best, and it just hurt, and she wasn't giving me.
Do y'all feel like it's okay? Do you feel like it's a great thing to date outside of your tax bracket when it comes to women?
Yes. Why? Because a lot of things we think we want. Like we said, we think we want. But when we get it, that shows that if you really want it or not. Is you going to keep up to maintain it? Or is you just going to look for something else? For example, you might want this city girl. But also, when you get it, you see that lifestyle she living, is it the lifestyle you have a future for, have a bigger picture for? So that's why I say experience. It's all about experience. I'm open. I don't have no experience.
What made you give the attachment world up?
Say that over again.
I said, what made you give up the attachment world? The attachment view of life.
Because attachment is what brings suffering. When you attach yourself to one woman, you stop seeking outside of that one woman. Man, if you just enjoy the love she giving you, let me enjoy the love she giving me, let me enjoy the love she giving me.
Okay, and this is the thing between unhealed men and healed men. Unhealed men, they will project their guilt onto that great lady by saying things like, man, you better than me. I don't deserve you. Why do you think men be so quick to jump into their nature too?
That's self-sabotage, number one. You're telling yourself that, and that's project. The more you tell yourself that, the more you're going to believe that. The more you say, the more you're going to believe. So you're saying I'm not enough, you're going to see more reasons on why you're not enough.
Do you feel love?
Can I rephrase the question?
I'm listening.
I don't think the purpose of a man's life right now, or for me, my opinion, I may change. Okay. I don't think the purpose of a man's life right now is to feel love. I think you feel love through also being capable and the best version of yourself that you possibly can. Let me go back to the analogy of the poor man. Okay, cool. Do you think the poor man is love?
Let me be realistic. No.
Yes.
Okay, if he is loved, then why do people, hundreds of cars, go down the street, try not to look at him because we know if we look at him, we're going to feel the guilt and the shame of not giving him whatever it is he wants, whether it be money, food, or whatever. Why do we just continue going straight if he is loved and he's neglected by the world?
Like I said, love is unconditional. So when you see this poor man, when you see this poor man on the street, when you see this poor man, if you see yourself in that poor man, if you see that, okay, he's poor, but if he has a lot of ambition, what you going to do with it? You're going to help him out. Versus seeing a poor man shaped by his own circumstances, you're going to be like, that's off him.
If it's a pride thing though.
No. So the only person that I believe that you get unconditional love for is your mother. I'll give you an example. Unconditional love don't exist other than someone that's your mother. If I have a girlfriend and I am broke, eating hot Cheetos, watching Netflix, and playing video games, and I have nothing to do with my life, is she gonna love me?
I know.
No. Is she going to love me? Is she going to love me? Yes or no?
Yeah. Can you just go back? Rephrase this whole.
I have a girlfriend that proclaims that she loves me. However, only thing that I do throughout my entire day is eat hot Cheetos, watch Netflix, binge watch TV shows, and play video games all day, and I have no future, I have no ambitions, I'm not looking for jobs, I'm not looking to become better or grow. Is this female that I am with going to love me?
That's what she want to look for. If that's what she wants.
No.
I just all know what works best for you.
No. I'm saying yes or no. It's a binary question. So she would still love you.
Yes. But no, if she don't want that, that's the men that get the most love from women. Men that don't do nothing with their life. The men who go out into the world and work and do what they got. They is love. Unless they get married and have kids.
No. Okay. Hold on. Let's step back. Let's step back for a second. I don't know what women y'all are messing with. I don't know. I don't think. I will argue this. I will argue that women in general date above their stature. They date hypergamously, and what that means is they will want a man that is making more money, or perhaps even the same money as them, but preferably more. Women, they will also want a man. If I were to ask you, if I were to go to a woman and ask, do you want your man weak or strong? She would say strong. Rich or poor? She would say rich. Now, whatever rich is, that could be $100,000 a month. That could be $50,000. $100,000 a year, $50,000 a year, or $1 million a year. Whatever her definition of rich is. She would say she want a rich man. In other words, this woman wants the best out of her man. Any woman that settles for less is soon to leave because she's, let's tie this back in, comparison. And also social media. When a woman goes outside and she sees that she has, or she sees a man that is big, that is strong, that is capable, that is smart, and she comes back home to her man who's just eating Cheetos and watching Netflix all day, do you think she's going to love him in comparison to the man that she just saw?
She's going to tolerate him. She's going to tolerate him.
How well can we tolerate him?
Short span.
Okay. Yeah. My question is, if we can only love, or if we can only tolerate people for a certain amount of time, and we can proclaim to love them, but if we leave, is that unconditional love? Because tolerance has a capacity, as you said. With your capacity, you leave. Does love itself, unconditional if we all have a tolerance for what we can
do? Love is conditional because, I know it's not because I love unconditionally. If I am sick within, no matter if, so what's the beneficial reason to why you love people? Or love?
No. Stop. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry, guys. Do you have a mom?
Yes.
If you date a girl, I'm gonna say an extreme example. You love this girl. You're her girlfriend. I mean, you're her boyfriend. Y'all been together for 8 years. I'm going to say an extreme example. If she were to come stab your mom 8 times with a knife in her neck, and your mom dies, are you going to love her? And after that?
No.
Okay. So. No, but you guys right. Stop. So even under those conditions, true, it was extreme. True, it was out there and outlandish. Is that really going to happen? No. But only under certain conditions will you love.
Cover it.
But only under certain conditions will you love. As I said, the reason why I'm saying this in general is because to adopt the worldview that love is unconditional, I think that would be false to men and also to people out here. We both know that our love, well, I think our love and our ability to be loved is attached to our capabilities. If we're living with a woman, and the only thing that we're doing is, I said, hot Cheetos, video games, not helping her pay the bills, not helping her with stress because she has a stressful work day. She comes home stressed. She comes home tired. And if we're doing nothing to benefit her day, there's only a amount of time until she leaves. I feel like so is that unconditional love? If she decides to leave, love is supposed to be fair. Love is supposed to be kind and patient too.
Love unconditionally. Well, I can say for myself, because also based on love language, mine is reciprocation. As long as you're reciprocating everything I give out, and what I reciprocate it's not about money, it's about realness, authentic. Just I show up authentic, I want you to show up authentic. I don't care nothing else. Love is the most complicated word. Love ain't complicated because everybody has their own definitions. It's a self-belief thing.
So love has different definitions. My question to you: what is your definition of authentic?
Authentic is being yourself. Unapologetically.
Do you think people are accepted for being themselves?
It's not about being accepted. You're not going to be accepted. It's a yes or no. It's a yes or no.
Do you think people are accepted for being themselves?
Yes.
So if I'm a crack addict and all only thing I do is smoke and snort coke and weed all day, do you think my girlfriend is going to accept me for who I am because it's my authentic self?
If you're a crack addict.
On average, I don't think women would accept that from a man. So I think, okay, listen, this is my bigger thing here. Yeah. I think to sit here and to say that we are loved unconditionally, and also think to sit here and to say that we should be our authentic selves is a lie to the world. Yeah. This is why. Because being our authentic selves, do you be your authentic self at work? Perhaps you do. But you know that if you come to your work job on your Sunday and you're tired and you're lazy and you don't feel like doing anything and you show up in that way and be authentic, we both know that you have an increased probability of getting fired from your job.
Yeah. No. Yes, so I do that every day. Do I?
No, because that's how they view you. You came in like that. But he's saying,
I'm saying from a customer's stand.
No. Being yourself. Yeah. Being yourself. To me, being myself is being who I am when no one is watching.
Okay.
Now, my actions when no one is watching isn't the actions that I would want to portray in public. No. So if you're being authentic to who it is you are, so the private actions that you do, you will want the public to see, even if you're
on a fake facade. If you're not being, if I put on a front for you, so say if all of this podcast is fake, I don't communicate good.
It's fake, guys. Just joking.
If I do all that, what is that getting?
Nothing.
If I show up, when I'm being myself behind closed doors, I show up better when the time comes. Like I said, when you're being somebody outside yourself, you're going to attract everything outside of yourself. By being yourself, even if what you're getting isn't what you want, you're starting to see that that's truly not what you want. And also, you're learning more about yourself on what you truly want by being authentic. Because you can lie to yourself all you want. Lie to yourself all you want. But deep down when you go to sleep at night, behind closed doors, that's why I say you can get into this world and lie. You can. But you have to deal with it. Not me, not your girlfriend, not him. Yeah. You. So that's where authenticity comes from. If I show up for myself, I don't care how you view me. I'm gonna be positive. I'm gonna be happy, even if you're mad. Yeah. Even if I get fired, I'm gonna be happy. I'm good with the job on it out.
Yeah. I don't know. I
want to be loved for being me. Like I don't want to be loved for what I bring. I would rather be by myself than doing it.
We don't have that option though. You know we don't have that option.
So it's not about, and with that option, people do love you for being you because they understand you. That's why I want to be authentic. I want people to understand me. When they see me, they see themselves.
Do you think being yourself or authentic, it brings you, it attracts people to you, or it kind of like
your people, your right people? Yeah. My content is not for people that want
to drink, club.
Yeah, that's not. But for your people, like I said, I want my community. I don't want the biggest community. I want my community.
And that's crazy that you said because of how God aligned us three together. I could have been self-conscious and say, I ain't gonna call Miguel. This me and him. Mm-hmm. But what I did, because you,
and that's one thing I appreciate. And that's just being yourself. You bring that people versus even if you raised and the people around you not so supportive. Yeah. You bring yourself. God's gonna send you people outside your family. Mm. Like you're limiting yourself by only thinking.
When can you let go of your family and let God take you wherever He needs you to be?
Whenever you fed up. Whenever you get fed up.
Why do we gotta be fed up?
Because I hate that for a breaking point. Like you're empathy. You wanna help them. But you won't get fed up. You gonna get tired of repeating this cycle. You gonna get tired because as much as we want to help them, we want to help ourselves. We want to help ourselves. So either you're gonna put them before you, or you're gonna put yourself before them. Which one?
That's selfish.
Hey, that's on you. Would you want to be viewed as selfish? It's how you want to be viewed. Would you want to be viewed as?
I don't want to be viewed as nothing because it shouldn't be.
And it's gonna be like that. It's society.
But then again, you also said that you're not worried about.
I'm not take a chance. I don't care what people think of me. But it's personal. It's a personal. That's one thing that comes with this. Me choosing this lifestyle. Like Roy said, his biggest thing was audience. He didn't like being seen. But that's one thing you have to just stick with. Why? There's a bigger purpose in it. And he's not doing it for himself. He's doing it for the fans, his community. When fear isn't, when fear, one thing to get over fear, fear is a bigger purpose. You would never, if you see yourself in it, you would never get over that fear. You're gonna keep feeling. Now when you see a bigger purpose outside that fear, oh, I'm going to the gym to get a bigger body. I'm going to the gym to get my mind right. You're doing that out of it's for a bigger purpose. It's not just for the present satisfaction. I'm not getting instant gratification. You're not getting
I was just gonna say it.
You're not getting that success right now, and that's helped off on the last conversation. People so tend to that instant gratification. They want that instant dopamine. They go scroll on TikTok. They ain't gonna read a book. No, they not. No, that's what comes with bettering your life. When you want to better your life, it gonna shows. It shows when you want to better your life. That's all I got to say for that part. You want to step in on something?
Yeah, you had your response about how you felt towards instant gratification, or
well, I'm going to tell my life experience.
Come on, let's do it.
My life experience.
This is understandable. We got to understand.
So I think us as humans, we are all selfish. We're all selfish as humans. We're all selfish as humans. The reason why you go to work is because you get a gain from it. You get a self-gain from it, whether it be money, whether it be enjoyment, whether it be fulfillment. You get something from it. Go to work deal with headache, deal with annoying stress, deal with people, deal with problems, and get paid zero and see if you stay at that job. You won't, because there's no benefit for you. So we all do things to self-benefit ourselves.
So it's selfish outside perspective. So is it more like me viewing you as selfish or viewing yourself as selfish? Because at the end, when you have a guilt to quit a job, right? But at the end, you doing it like I'm putting myself first. Versus if you look from the job perspective, you like, oh, he just quit, or he just doing whatever he want to do. People look at you as selfish. That's not your label. That's not your identity on what people give you. But people give you on the projection of themselves. So if they was to do that situation, they would think they were selfish. But no, simply I'm just putting myself first, and whether or not you like it or not, I'm gonna continue to do it.
Why do we let terms describe us?
People think identity is words. Identity is the way you view yourself. You have to have a self-identity, not a social identity. So, for example, your fans might say you can't talk. Well, number one, if they even talking the way, if they've been working on their talking, so you might can't talk, but you're working on it. See, people don't know what's going on behind closed doors. They only speaking about their perspectives around stuff. Like you said, your experience of life. Everybody only doing it. That's what projecting is. Only going off your life experience versus understanding each other's perspective. I understand that your life raising caused this. Versus me saying, you're the way you is because your upbringing, or I'm just judging you. Like a lot of people judge based off their perspectives. So if my perspective was bad, I'm gonna stop you from experiencing what I have to go through.
But that's something that he got to go through, though.
Right. That's not for me to project on you.
Okay.
You feel me? So like, like I was talking about, it's a difference between uplifting and projecting. When you project, it's from a perspective. When you uplift, it's from a higher perspective. You don't think it's a positive projection?
You don't think it's a positive projection?
It is. By saying yourself, if you're positive as a person, right?
I think seeing potential in the person is positive.
Let's do this. Yes. Let's do this.
You don't think so?
Me seeing your smile, right? You see your smile in me. I see my smile in you. That's positive projecting. Me seeing you being lazy is a projecting of me. But also me telling you you're lazy because you're doing something. So boom, and your parents say you're lazy for just sitting in the house playing the game, but you're streaming. They view streaming as laziness. That's projecting. Versus you you have a bigger purpose in this. You're helping, you're entertaining people. Perspective. You got to understand your perspective, number one, and you got to understand open-mindedness. Open-mindedness is just being open to everybody's perspectives. So me understanding that I'm gonna knock off your idea simply because of my experience. Not gonna say I'm not gonna knock off your idea. I know that and I'm aware of that. That don't stop me from knocking it off, but I could pull back and be like, you're not wrong from that, my bad. And we can redirect you. So awareness is key when it comes to just development, awareness.
And you had a life experience you wanted to speak on.
Oh, no. So basically, in general, what I was saying was, I think even the most selfless act is selfish. So for example, if I put you first, I'll feel good by putting you first because I put myself last. And that means I'll prioritize your feelings, your emotions, your happiness over my own. And that makes me feel good because I'm a good person. I'll take the high road in that case. So even the act of selflessness is selfishness. And also when it comes to reality within itself, I think that inherently we all care about how we're viewed. The reason why you won't go outside, it's an extreme example. I'm going to say this, an extreme example. The reason why you won't go outside naked is because you care about what other people are going to look and say about you. That's the only reason why you care. If not, if we lived in a free world, you would go out and do it. But you care about what other people are going to say about you or view you.
That's authenticity. You see how authenticity play? You get more confidence because you don't care for what people think. You're just going to show up. You're just going to do the best you can do. Give yourself the grace and be fine with the outcome because you showed up. You did all you can do. Now, if you don't show up as your full self, that's where that guilt starts to come in. But as long as you're doing everything you can possibly do, every day that you wake up.
Yeah. Do you feel like you ever had that guilty moment where you knew you were supposed to talk or reach out to a person?
Every time, because that's why I feel like that's how I found my purpose. That's how certain things is aligned to your life. Like I say, you might view it as bad, but it's a bigger purpose in things. That's why I say I don't look at my experience as good or bad. My first heartbreak, I don't look at it as bad. I look at it good because now I know the psychology of women.
But when I
was in the moment, I wouldn't do her bad.
So
of course.
All right, so listen. So for the people at home, let's prioritize them. For the people at home, what you're basically preaching about is mindset about how can you view the world in a positive way. Because once you view the world in a positive way, then you will attract positivity. Understand that. For the people at home, for the people who are genuinely and true, think about this. Let's put ourselves in their shoes, okay? They have an apartment.
Yeah.
They're struggling. They're thinking they're about to get laid off.
Yeah.
And they're struggling to pay bills. They are thinking about going back home with their parents, or they're going through a tough time. How can we then instill within that person who is going through, in reality, a hard time paying bills, say, no, stop, John, think positive. Because once you think positive, your entire circumstances in life will change.
Relatable story. A relatable story. No. Relating to somebody's trauma is what brings them in.
No. I'm talking about actionables. What can we say to John, who is about to get laid off, and perhaps who is struggling to pay bills and just worried about how can I make next month stretch? How can I make next month's money stretch? So therefore, I am living comfortable, and perhaps even my daughter and my son are living comfortable. How can we tell them to think positively under that circumstances in that case? What can
greater days always to come. Even though right now God is showing you a storm, the sun is always gonna shine.
Yeah, you're right. Because you gotta understand, you became mature and healed. He's saying from a standpoint where you gotta be realistic. No, you gonna tell him, you finna get fired.
So that's one thing about life. You
So listen.
How is that? You're limiting yourself. How is that? Because
My bad.
Yeah, you are.
John is in that situation. Go to John and tell him when he's about to get fired and his daughter is crying because she's hungry and he don't have any food to afford, so he has to call his mom. Tell John in that case, brighter days are coming, John. What is he going to say?
Let him go through it. Because when the brighter days come, he's going to be a preacher to
No, because you
He's going to come back.
listen, you speaking from perspectives of who you are as a man. Now, he's seen, step out your shoes for a second, get into your shoes, and say that he was the dad they called, like, hey, I'm gonna get fired.
I have my 2-year-old daughter and I can't feed her, and Pampers. I need diapers. I need all of these things, but I cannot do it. What do I do? What can we tell that person? Because there are so many people lives in which perhaps they're not in that situation, but they are just simply trying to make ends meet. So you coming to them and telling them, okay, well, fix your mind and think positive because positivity will coming to you or return back to you. You telling that to John, who's about to get fired and has a 2-year-old that's hungry. You telling him that it's not really going to do anything.
That's why I say, listen, that's why I say people feed into, how can I put this? Him saying all that, he's ignoring his blessings. He have a kid. Whatever, he has something. Like, he have something to be great. You have something to be grateful for.
I have a question. When you went through heartbreak, if I were to come to you and say, well, you're at least for the pain,
you can't be nowhere. You can't be when you do that though. Right or wrong. No, right or wrong. He's not excellent though. You right, but he's not excellent.
No. Okay, so what I'm simply saying is you told John in this case that
change your mindset. That's my answer. About the whole John scenario. Yeah. Change your mindset, change your perspective around something. Yeah. So if you tell John, hey John, you might be going through this. But if you change your perspective on you're going through this, God, he's gonna fire you from this job and he's gonna bring you a greater job. He might not believe that because he never seen, like it's new to him. But when he see that, he be like, that's true. He will have the most respect for me. Like me, I'm not here to people please. I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. That's not me. Man. That's not me. I'm not here. It's good. It's okay. Shit, we still enjoying our time. But it's like you can sit with people like through a heartbreak. That's like I said, if the pain you're going through is all you're gonna know. But if I sit with you through this and comfort and help you go through this, it will be way better. Like I cannot say you can avoid a problem. But changing your mindset will change the way you view that problem. Do you feel like we can avoid chaos? No, but we can avoid the way we suffer from it. So the chaos might be meant to bring us down here. Yeah. But if we just detach, get out our minds for it. Yeah. Enjoy our blessings. Yeah. Even though we might ain't got a studio right now. Yeah. Being blessed to even just come in here. Yeah. The small blessings in life will take you far. Yeah. It will. And like that's the bigger thing. Stop looking at your present moment. That's what John needs to stop doing. Look at the present moment. See the bigger picture. Yeah. See that God.
Okay. So this is what I'm saying.
That's why I say it can't be realistic though.
So John needs to see the bigger picture. But if going through heartbreak, let's take you back to when you went through heartbreak. If I were to say, well, at least you're feeling pain. Just focus on the pain.
No. Listen up.
Just focus on the pain. Similar to how you told John, just focus on the bigger picture. What can you do with that to change your life? At that exact moment, you told John not to worry about the present. But the only thing he can do is worry about the present because of the circumstances around him. Because if you don't think about the present, his baby is going to die because of starvation. If you don't focus on the present,
stop trying to control everything. God, this not. That's his priority. That's his problem. That's not my problem. Yeah. I can't help that man. That's his inner problem. That's his inner work. He has to go through that. Everybody has to go through that. That's why I say scenarios is so you can't never get a scenario. You ain't gonna get the exact point because scenario is not realistic because it's just like it's so many different factors.
So say if John is struggling, right? Like he said, John's struggling. Baby needs to eat. If this baby don't eat, starvation is coming to take that baby out of their misery. And he's saying this as a man. What can you do?
I can't do nothing. You making God him. I'm leading you. I'm leading you to your self mastery. I don't want you to come to me. But what if God sent you to be that blessing for you?
All right, hold on. Listen, guys.
Okay.
We all know this. Like on the opposite side of hardship, there's a greater version of you. On the opposite side of going to the gym, it's hard, yes, but there's going to be a bigger and better body. There's going to be a bigger and better body. Hardship forges and turns your character into a good person. Yeah. You find yourself through hardship. So we understand that. John's going through a hard time. My only thing, forget about John right now. My only thing is, how can we truly sit here, because we're truly privileged to sit here under these lights, under this building, to talk and to have time to even have a camera in front of our face to express our opinions. Yeah. So how can we, to a world that isn't like that, to a world that is struggling. How can we sit there and ask them, just change your mindset and everything will be okay, everything will be fine, your blessings will soon come? They need tangible, real life advice. And so I love what you do because you talk about mindset, you talk about positivity. My only thing is, if the goal is growth, your goal is growth, right? In order to grow, you need to do certain things. You can't just operate in the metaphysical and say, you know what, God, I'm going to manifest my dream. I'm going to manifest my dream. My dream is going to come. You have to do things in reality if your goal is to grow. So let's say for the audience, their goal is to grow.
Yeah.
We can't just simply sit here and talk about mindset all day.
Let's do this. Let's do this right. Let's do this right. Yeah. Let's say you pray for something, right? Because that's when you pray, you're manifesting it. So say you manifesting and you just wait for it to come around. This is one thing about manifesting. You say you want it. You say you want it. So this thing that you don't have right now, you say that you want it. God's going to give you the ideas to get to it. He's not going to give you it instantly. He's not. He's going to give you processes. He's going to give you steps to take to get there.
I want to ask you something here.
I'm listening.
Be vulnerable, be open, and be true. All right. What is the last hard moment that you've went through? And what lesson in hindsight do you think it was teaching you?
Friendship.
What was hard about the friendship?
My impatience. Like he said, you're supposed to go through processes as people to understand the human connection at the end of it all. That's the end goal, human connection. If I can build a connection with y'all, my goal, I complete. That's my checklist. That's it. I built my connection with y'all.
And guess what you just learned? You learned something more about yourself. Because everybody don't look for new connections. That's why I say you can't really go seeking new connections because everybody not seeking it.
Yeah.
But you just learn something more about yourself, and that's guiding you. You're learning more that God has his hand on you. You learn more about your purpose because if it wasn't for you to have that connection type of desire, you would be out here chasing money just like everybody else. You would be going just the way everybody else is doing. So you're seeing now how God have a bigger picture in your life. You have to step outside of what you're seeing physically. Do you have, and that's why I say,
So hold on. So for the world right now, for the world who is at home and they're hungry, and once again, we talked about it. If they're hungry, they're going to go quickly in 5 steps get their favorite food. How can you tell that person who is always into instant gratification, who is always wanting the next quick pleasure, how can you then tell them to focus on purpose and to find God and to do all these things
experience
whenever they're not truly and genuinely worried about that? So listen, the meta point that I'm trying to provide is I'm an individual who loves to grow. I'm an individual, and I think growth is amazing. But truly and genuinely ask ourselves, how many people are trying to grow? And so the message that you would present to people who are trying to grow versus who are not trying to grow is drastically different. And nowadays, many people aren't trying to grow because they're simply just trying to live in the comfort zone to where they can pay this bill by this date at this month.
Is that in your environment, your perspective? Is that your limiting belief? Is that just what you've been shown your whole life? Or, because for example, us, if that was the case, will we have met? If that was truly the case, will we have met?
Because pride could have got in the way.
It's so many different things.
But then again, when you think about it, the pureness within us was still gonna make it happen when we had conversations though.
Okay then. So as knowing for you, I can take each one as testimony. For you, when we was on the phone, you said you were seeking these people versus if you just do the work, do your work that God has put, when the time comes, you're going to be ready. You can't rush it. When the time comes, it will be perfect. It won't be later, it won't be early. This moment right here, it happens for a certain moment. Everything happens for a purpose in life, spiritually and physically. God works in mysterious ways. That's what John don't know because of his environment. His environment showed that he have no faith. That's what John needs is faith, but his environment don't instill faith. His environment is still survival. But if John really blame him, no. But what can I do blame John for is playing his part in that. You didn't ask to grow up in that environment, but you're playing that choice not to change.
You get to a point in your life where you get a choice to change that.
Yeah, you can avoid that kid. So with me making him aware, I'm bringing awareness. So if he don't want to be aware of that, he's playing into his own suffering. I can't help John no more. John has to help himself. God is going to send him through experiences because he don't want to listen. I did all I could do. That's all we could do. Do as much as we could do. I could try to push you to be a content creator, to make money, do whatever. But if that's not in you, you're not gonna do that. I can't force you to do anything. I can't tell John the right advice just to make him do something. So if John in his head wanted to change, he'll listen to my advice because he understands. If he don't change his mindset or change the way he thinks of his life, it's not going to change. If you know you're about to get fired, you got to go through that regardless. So going through something regardless, would you rather think of it the worst way or try to think of it the best possible way? Would you rather think I'm getting fired and I'm going to be homeless, or I'm getting fired and I'm going to get a next job and I'm going to get rich? Which one? Play into your own suffering. You can either be delusional or suffering. And I'd rather you be delusional.
I feel like delusional don't even really need to have this term to the society. I feel like it should be self-belief.
Yes, society don't see it in you. God put that in you. God didn't put that in society.
But then again, if you say we attract like-minded people, won't they see it?
No, not if that's not in their nature.
Miguel, listen. Every day I get the honor to be able to talk to y'all too. I always tell y'all what. So y'all,
we gonna be the only one.
Listen. It's not about that moment when God put me in that position to talk to those other like-minded people like me. Yes, I would give them the satisfaction of, hey, I'm proud of you. You do great. I even said before I met you guys. So you see what I'm saying? But I'm saying though, every day I get the chance to say, I'm proud of y'all. Keep doing what y'all doing. I give y'all this boost of motivation.
God gonna keep showing you things to be grateful for. So you keep saying, I'm proud of y'all. I'm thankful for y'all. God gonna keep giving you things to be grateful for. Or you say, I'm grateful to be depressed. You gonna keep being grateful to be depressed. So hey, that's why I say, don't attach yourself. Because if you attach yourself just to us, you believe in nobody else will be out there for you. Versus you believe, you know that within you. You see that within yourself.
My mindset was
okay, that's unconditional love for me. Okay, so y'all know that y'all see yourself. Y'all know that there are better people because I'm better than my environment. There gotta be better people. So with my unconditional love, I know that I love out of pure heart. I love with no conditions. I love with nothing. So it gotta be somebody out there that love the same way I do.
Absolutely false, because you would expect someone to be the same person that you are. That's not the case. We both know
I'm special. I'm one in one. So I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you good.
Right, so listen.
let's extrapolate this out further. I personally, I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know how many people at home are religious. I don't know how many people believe in God, but I'm going to say this. I don't read the Bible. I pray. Here's my definition of what it means to become close to God, and you two perhaps tell me if I'm right or wrong, but perhaps you two tell me and guide me down the right path.
You're right.
So I'm going to ask a set of questions to both of you, and I want both of you to answer. Okay. If you are to have a baby, do you want this baby to be strong or weak?
Strong. I wanted to say weak because I know the end goal. I know the end goal. So when it comes to parenting, now I'm gonna let you, because I want to lose your question.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so I would think on average, people want their kid to be strong. If you want your kid, do you want your kid to be impatient or patient?
Patient.
Impatient or patient? Do you want something you won't care about? Speed. Do you want your kid to be fast or slow?
Slow.
Fast?
Slow.
Yeah. In general, what I'm asking is, we would want the best out of our own creations. Yep. We would want the best out of our own creations. If we're to create a son, we want that son to be sharp, we want him to be smart, we want him to be capable, we want him to be fast, we want him to be everything. So if we are made in God's creation, who's to say that becoming closer to God isn't just showing him the beauty of his own creation, just like we want out of our own children? And what that basically means for me is that if I can show God the best version of myself, then I'm becoming closer to God and himself as a whole. And let me tell you why. Hardships within itself teaches you. We both know that, once again, I'm just giving a simple analogy that we can all agree with.
You're good.
If we go to the gym, if I go to the gym and it's hard for my body to physically push, but I am pushing, on the outset of that workout, I'm going to have bigger abs or a stronger body or bigger arms or something. I'm going to have something to show for it. Now, the question is, I find, as in general, we come to God himself during our hardest moments. We never come to God when things are easy, because we don't appreciate God himself when things are easy. We only appreciate God himself when things are hard. God, my mom's in the hospital. Please, I promise you, I will not do this again. If you just please protect my mom, Father God. Please do it. We come to God himself in our lowest of moments. So whenever we're going through hardship, whenever our moments are very low, that's when we find ourselves closer to God. But I think in general, if we can all agree that we want the best of our creations, I don't read the Bible, I pray, but my form of showing love to God and appreciation to God is just simply showing him the best version of myself that possibly exists. Right. And that means becoming, once again, the best version of myself in all ways.